I'm going to expand a little bit out in terms of what we've been talking about. We've been talking a lot about LinkedIn. We've been talking about a lot of the very specifics. What I want to get you to do is to think a little bit broader, right? To think a little bit differently, to see, okay, well, what do these pieces actually mean? And more importantly, how can we actually put these pieces together so that they work at the end of the day? Who knows what an inflection point is? Who knows what have you guys heard the R word, recession? Anybody? Yeah, you know what a recession is? It's when the little peak moves down. Everybody knows that, right? Yeah. An inflection point is when we can move the dial up. Who wants to move the dial up? Yeah, exactly. So despite the naysayers and the economy or whatever the case may be, we actually have power to be able to turn that up into an inflection point. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do. So isn't it cool, right? It's the greatest time in history as we have access to literally billions of people around the world. Okay, it doesn't mean that we have to do business with billions of people, but it means that we have access to that, which is really, really key. But it's also the worst time in history. Why? Well, because we have access to literally billions and billions of people around the world, right? Competition. No longer is it just being on the corner, right? It's become a lot bigger and a lot greater than that and a lot more at stake with that. It's never been easier to get your ideas out there with social media, right? But it's the hardest time because there's so much noise out there, right? Do you agree? How do you grow your business? Should you give up now? No, let's not. Let's keep going, right? Wasn't social media rather supposed to save your business, not destroy it? Wasn't it supposed to make it easier and less complicated? Right? We're not taking a rocket to space every day. We're just doing our business, right? Doing what's really, really important. But it's how we're going to be thinking about things that really becomes aware. And at the end of the day, what is all this stuff for? It's to sell, right? That's the bottom line. If we're not selling, if we're not using digital for selling, it's not working. And maybe we should, hang up our hobby job and away we go. But we want to make sure that we're actually able to put those pieces in place. So as Ivan mentioned, I'm the author of Breakthrough, Unleash Your Remarkable Brand Value, Influence, and Authority. I've been in digital since 2004, one of the top 40 fastest growing companies in Canada, and moved into Australia and loved it. I never went back. Can't enjoy the winters. All right, so what are your biggest challenges online? Anybody? Your biggest challenges?
Being heard.
Being seen, being heard. Perfect. Consistency.
Probably driving traffic to a landing page organically.
Driving traffic to a landing page organically. Are you in marketing? Yeah. Use in marketing. Awesome. Very, very good. Excellent. Think about where you are, right? Right now in that big blue ocean of online, digital, whatever you want to call it, right? Where's your little boat? In the middle. Are you getting to your destination? Let's hope so, right? Let's not get lost along the way as well, because if we're lost, we're not going anywhere whatsoever. Where could you be, right? Where could you actually grow if you had these pieces in place to be able to do that, right? Wouldn't that be exciting? Yeah, absolutely. Social media is maturing as an industry, right? It's simply not what it used to be. No longer can you just set up a profile page and a group and hope that your businesses start to see the halo effect, right? Who's experienced that? You post it and business just comes in the door like you would not believe. Anybody? If there was, you should be up here talking, not me, right? It doesn't happen. It's no longer about just your posts and likes. It's not about the number of fans, but guess what? You guys look pretty smart, right? It's beyond that, absolutely. Can't figure out what to blame? What's your strategy? We hear that word a lot, right? What's the strategy? What's happening? What can I do about it? You're only one click away from your competitors when you think about it. If you don't have a clear strategy, where do they go? They click their finger, and that's it, right? Competition is fierce, as I said. Did people 50 years have to worry about the power of your finger, right? Where you could click and where you could not? So what does 2020 hold? Weren't we supposed to have flying cars? No, not yet. I don't think so. So it's going to be a brave new digital world, right, in 2020, but only for those that align their strategy with the value to solve their audience's challenges, right? and a strategy that helps your business correct itself upright under all conditions that you encounter. This is strategy. It's all about how you put these pieces together and how you move that point from a downward slide to an upward inflection. We have all seen this before, right? Uber, the world's largest taxi company, owns no vehicles. Facebook, the most popular media provider, creates no content. Who's seen this? Oh, come on, everybody should have seen this by now. It's the law of disruption, right? But let's be completely honest. Let's shoot this down, right? WeWork founders did not get their startup to a, I guess if you've been watching the news, $10 billion company in just 9 years by constantly posting on social. What did they do? They had a bigger piece of the pie, right? They had a purpose, they had a story, they took us on a journey. WeWork knows the journey of their audience. Uber knows the journey of their audience. Airbnb knows the journey of their audience. So do you know the journey of your audience? The specific steps that they're going to take along that pathway towards getting you to help with their problems, getting you to help with their challenges, getting you to help with their solution? It's all about the journey. The digital age, journey matters now more than ever for growth. If you have a strategy, you can tell the true journey, you can grow your business with the journey. Easy, right? So what is this? A journey is what gives your customer clarity and certainty about their future. This is your strategy. You control the narrative, you control the roadmap. It's not a journey about how awesome you are along your amazing tech and company, right? Nor how are you going to change the world. We've all heard it before. It's not about being the next amazing founder. Who knows who that is? Elon Musk, who has a Tesla? You want to be him? Yeah, okay. So he's a great guy, right? And he sends out rocket ships that land backwards. Like, that's pretty cool. All right, but business is digital and it is a journey. And first we need a growth framework, right? Anybody know what a keystone is? Yeah, the keystone is this little piece right in the, actually it's cut off there, the top of the arch. And the Romans built this like thousands and thousands of years ago. Actually, probably the Greeks even, I'm not sure of who created the actual architecture. But what it does is it holds the pieces up. It holds the arches up. And without that piece, what happens? It's rubble. So do you have a digital strategy that actually is able to pull all these pieces together? Anybody? Anybody? Not yet? Okay, well, it's really important. Look at what you can do with this. Bridges, buildings, excuse me. It's still used today. Everything that we build is based upon that keystone. So unless you have a keystone strategy, unless you have a keystone digital strategy, guess what? Can you build that? Yeah, potentially. Might take you a lot longer. Might take you a lot more work, a lot more time and money, but away you go. What we really need to do when we're talking strategy is look at the gaps. In World War II, these planes were flying into enemy territory and getting shot down. Some were coming back and they said, hey, we gotta fix this, right? What's our strategy for protecting these aircraft? Oh, well, let's count all the bullet holes. Let's get the aircraft that land. We'll count all the bullet holes and see where we need to put some armor, right? To protect the plane. Makes sense, right? If we can protect the plane, planes aren't going to crash, they're going to make it back. Anybody see the fault in that? Yes, sir.
Well, where the bullet holes aren't, every guy's hit for bullet holes. Where the bullet aren't, are the ones the planes that came down.
Exactly, right? The ones with the bullet holes in the important spots in the engine and the cockpit, they didn't make it back. So what kind of strategy was that? Shit one. So what did they do though? They put the armor on the important spots. They put it around the engines. They put it around the cockpit so that these aircraft could make it back. They would survive. Isn't that cool? We have an idea, but there's a huge gap here. We don't know actually what it is. But they dug in, they dug deep and said the armor doesn't go where the bullet holes are, it goes where the bullet holes aren't. You don't need to be a mathematician to discover that. You just have to take a look at your business. Take a look at the strategy. We've all talked about the know, like, trust, right? This is how business gets done. And in the digital age, we've heard a few numbers. Actually, this is a number that I've been working with for a while, but It's actually by Google, the zero moment of truth. Has anybody heard of that one? No? Anyway, they looked at an e-commerce side of things and how long does it take for people to produce something to actually buy. We're up to 7 hours, 11 touch points, and 7 channels. So the point is, right, what do we need to do? We need to spend time with our customer. We need to spend time with our audience, looking at things, seeing how they put together, how they fit together. We're also substantially underestimating what our customer is doing. How would you like to have 67% more business tomorrow? Anybody? Nobody? You know where we're talking? Most of us focus on here, the 3%. People are actively buying, which is normal. You go to a store, some people are buying, some people are, oh no, I'm just looking, I'm just kind of wandering, kind of checking things out. 3% of your entire market. What happens if you could expand that? 30%, guess what? Nobody's going to do business with, right? And we're like that. I'm like that. It's like, oh, sorry, you know, your shirt's too black or your hair's too long or whatever, right? They're not going to do business with you. So don't worry about those. The 67% in the middle, absolutely. If we can get that 67% to come to us when they're ready to buy, isn't that great? Isn't that a cool strategy? Yeah, absolutely. And it takes a lot less effort. But we need to be able to create this journey that I spoke of earlier. Create this strategy for businesses to say, hey, how do we actually get people to move along that pathway? Well, content, obviously super critical here with LinkedIn, making sure you're posting, making sure you're having, you know, you're creating your videos and your lives and your blog posts and all that good stuff. But what's really important is we have to create that advancement of knowledge, create that advancement of education and awareness as well. So how do we do that? We create a gift, which is a quick little checklist, a quiz, a how-to, a podcast. What we're trying to do is capture attention. The next step along the journey is what's called a product for prospects. It's something a little bit more involved. It's higher value, it's low commitment, and it's a low risk. Could be a webinar, could be a training, could be a subscription, an assessment, a 1-hour consult, whatever the case may be. And then finally, we move them to our core business, right? It's a complete solution, it's full commitment. This is the journey that we can take our customer on every single time. We provide them something of high value, moderate value, no commitment, no risk, moving to high value, low commitment, low risk, and then into our core business. We're not trying to sell somebody immediately, right? Everybody's gotten those emails. Come buy my shit, right? Click here, buy my shit. Yeah, no, that's not how we do it. We introduce them. We get them to spend time with us. We get them involved. We get them engaged. We get them to know, like, trust us. And there's the process that we can actually work with. So you don't need to be Albert Einstein. All of this is what I'm talking about. It's called your digital genius. And no, you don't need to be Albert Einstein. It's your strategic thinking, right? This is what we're really talking about. All this stuff that I'm talking about, you don't have to be a technologist. You don't have to be a digital guru. You don't have to be whatever you want to call it, right? All you have to do is know your stuff. And today, as I said, in the digital age, those businesses that know their stuff are the ones that are going to be moving forward. So if you're not sure, if you get stuck with digital, you need to know this stuff. How do you do that? Build your digital genius. So it allows you to allows your business to grow and to develop your business digital genius. So being competitive in the digital environment, developing new customers online, demonstrating digital leadership, understanding knowledge about what works online and what doesn't. We kind of know that right now, right? How many people get, like, I think, Ronnie, you mentioned it about, you know, getting SEO emails on LinkedIn. I'll SEO your site, you know, and get you ranking top 10. Sorry, Mr. Marketer. Right? We get those. We get tons of those. Maybe they're not from Sydney, maybe they're from overseas, it doesn't really matter, right? How many's got a, hey, we'll move you to SEO ranking #1 on Google? And how many people have fallen for that? Unfortunately, sadly, right? It's because we're not aware of all the things we don't know. So my job is to make that a little bit easier. To say, these are the things that are really important. These are the things that you can actually do and you can actually control and manage, so that when it comes to somebody asking you, do you want to SEO your website, or do you want to even run ads? Do you have that knowledge level that'll actually help pull those pieces together? And I'm going to say yes, you do. You just have to become more aware of it. So don't be scared of digital. Don't be scared of all that. You guys wouldn't have gotten into business, right, if you were scared of something. We have to apply this in the sense of digital. We have to apply it in the sense of growing the business. There's 4 areas. We can be in the disrupted zone on the bottom left, which some of us might be. We're feeling overwhelmed, confused, non-competitive. Some might feel that we're in the technician zone, right? We know social but can't fully implement within business. Okay, we don't know the tech, right? So we kind of go, oh, I'm not going to bother with it. I'm not going to worry about it. Maybe somebody else will figure it out. We can be in the bottom right, the thought leader guru zone. Good ideas, but little knowledge to grow scale within a business, within social. You might be awesome at your business. Okay? You might be a thought leader, but are you applying that into the digital space? And if not, why not? If you want to be seen as that expert coach, if you want to be seen as that expert consultant, are you able to leverage that in the digital space to become the digital genius, right? Clarity and certainty, understanding of social to grow and scale within your business. Who would like to be there? Yeah, giving you that certainty so it becomes more in tune with what you're doing. It becomes more of what you're doing with your business as well. And these are the 4 categories. We have digital leadership, digital awareness, digital knowledge, and digital skills. So what elements are critical and needed for your digital journey? Well, these are some of them. So right now, where would you put yourself? Digital awareness. I mean, look, it's more a matter of how do we actually define this, right? Again, you don't need to be a digital expert, right? We want to get that to that point in our business where we can know what needs to be done at a proper time. Because if we don't, what happens? You get lost, right? You start wandering around. You have no idea where you're going or where you're heading. So what I've done is created a methodology that says these are the important elements to help you with your digital leadership. Number 1, we need a core strategy. Number 2, we have a detailed content plan. Number 3, we know how to use social media. Number 4, we know how to use branding through visuals and video. We have alignment with our websites. We have pages that are all related and all relevant. Number 6, we have a sales funnel, right? How many businesses have a sales funnel? Online, not many. I'm going to tell you, not many. I see a lot. Not many have one. They need one. And number 7, they realize that they can use advertising to move things forward, to grow beyond that sphere of influence that you currently have. And without it, yeah, you're in trouble. So what do we need? We need a keystone for our digital genius, for our growth. Create a breakthrough strategy. Put it in place. Look at the steps that we can take along the way. If we can put each one of these in a bucket, doesn't that make management of your business a lot easier? We know what social media we have to do. We know what we have to do with our websites. We know what we have to do with our videos. Think of it as a bucket. Throw each of these problems in a bucket and away you go. Simples, right? Some simple strategy questions. What are we about? What do we do best? What makes it work? What value are you going to deliver as well? And if you can answer those questions, hey, you've already started. You already have the makings of a digital strategy. Who saw The Matrix? Yeah. Who hasn't? Who hasn't? Put your hand up. Oh my God. Go. No, go watch it tonight. You don't have to leave now. I actually saw it in the theater. Like they had like the 20th anniversary showing, and I went back to the theater to watch it because I hadn't actually watched it the first time in the theater. There's this scene where this guy, what was he doing? Yeah, he was stopping the bullets. You know why? He suddenly realized that he could do it. Right? It was like that moment, that click that goes, oh, you know what? All I got to do is go. Or maybe it was like, or something. I don't know what he facial. But he stopped the bullets. And then he looked at it and said, wow, this is pretty cool, right? How did I do this? Guess what? He's developed his digital genius. He found his inflection point to say, this is what's really important. This is how I can master this. I can look at these 4 factors that affect my digital genius. Because at the end of the day, we want people to buy from us, right? If you want some more help along the way, go to bit.ly strategy canvas to get some ideas. 60% of small businesses cease operating within the first 3 to 5 years of starting. Who's 5 years and above? Hands up. Awesome. Cool. Give yourself a round of applause. All right? We still need help getting you there, right? I believe that this is because we stopped thinking strategically. That we just kind of, let's go for it, or let's try this, and we'll zip around here and we'll try that, and away we go. Your survival is not assured. Your growth is never automated. It's never just about social media ever. Remember that. Before I go, I've got one final thing. Your Digital Genius Challenge. You have 2 main challenges to make sure that you're not going to be a statistic. Okay? Take a look at what 4 digital genius traits that are your strengths and weaknesses. Which one can you develop more of? And then how will you Marie Kondo the shit out of the pieces of your digital ecosystem to deliver your value? Who knows Marie Kondo? Yeah, she's like...
LinkedIn.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, yeah. She's organized, right? Find out where you are. Find out what you can do. Anybody know what's 1 degree off course? Any pilots here? Yeah? Okay, for every we use nautical miles, but for every 60 kilometers you go forward, if you're 1 degree off, how far off are you going to be? 1 kilometer. Yeah, we use easy numbers. So if I travel 60 kilometers forward, I'm 1 degree off. I'm going to be 1 kilometer off. I'm going to miss my target. I'm not even going to get there. I came from Perth. I wouldn't have landed in Sydney if that was the case, right? That 1 degree is what you need to correct for constantly. This is your strategy. This is to say, hey, I'm on course. I'm on my way. I'm going to get to Sydney. I'm going to get to Perth, or I'm going to get to Tassie, or wherever you want to go. So keep that in mind. Make sure you have the right equipment to use, right? 747 versus the Cessna 172. So develop your digital genius, create your own certainty, your own future, your own growth for your business, and this is your strategy. Just make sure you're clear on the implementation.
Wow. Guys, can you put your hands together?
Yeah.
Don't so late, please.